Hey, what's good, everyone? Hope y'all doing okay. Me and the girls are here. Hold on. I don't think I even muted the chat. See, I was about to be out here all willy-nilly.
Not willy-nilly.
I did say willy-nilly. Y'all forgive me. Y'all know I'm corny. Anyways, what's good, everybody? We're here tonight. We're going to be talking Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 2. And I'm here with two of my girls and hoping that B or Timo will join us a little later. So I'm going to go ahead and allow the ladies to introduce themselves, starting with AK.
What's good, folks? AK in the spot. About to talk about this episode and all of the gaggatry.
T.
Hey, y'all. This is going to be funny. And I feel you on that gag and stuff because it was such a Jamie episode, but whatever. It's okay because it just means he's going to die, y'all. So I started to enjoy it when I realized what was going on.
I'm gonna allow you to go on your Jamie rant. So I just want to do like a brief overview what we'll be going over tonight, and I just want to hit like main points so that we don't drag this along. And then if we have time after we hit like some major points, we'll do some honorary mentions, and we'll try not to do too much Jamie. And we'll try to
Please. But it's going to be hard because this was definitely a Jamie episode. So
yeah.
It's bound to happen.
It was a heavy DJ.
DJ. See, you don't even want to talk about it.
Tormund was my MVP.
Yes, he was.
He was my MVP of the night.
He's going to die too.
I know. I'm sorry.
You're not the sir. No, well, why not? I would to say why not for the shit to happen.
That look on Brienne's face.
She was like, really?
You see how she had to course correct and choose her words so he didn't get the wrong idea.
Because he was getting excited.
I hear they call you the king killer.
Tormund hit her with that food reference again. You saw how he was drinking his goat's milk out of that horn, looking at her.
Oh my God! Everybody in the room was looking at him like, "Yo, bro,
like what you doing, baby? What you doing?"
Tormund gave me all of my life, and I loved it.
Oh my God!
I was here for it. Timo, Lacey.
Timo has joined us.
Yeah, of course you would. This is a Jamie episode.
You know her boo was on there, so you know she had to come through.
It's only fitting.
Say what's up to the people, Timo. Oh, now you should.
Oh no! Well, there she is.
Say hi to the people, Timo.
Of course. Her boo was on there, so you know she had to come through. Of course, I know.
Timo, mute the chat.
Huh?
Mute the chat. We were trying to echo.
Oh, my bad.
Like she's so excited about Jamie, she don't know what to do with herself.
And she muted herself. Don't mute yourself. Mute the live chat.
Anything. Oh Lord Jesus.
Technical difficulties, y'all. We'll get it. We'll get it in a second.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and kick things off. So before we go off on a tangent, because you know I'm good for that too. All right, so we start off the episode with the quote unquote Jamie trial or Jamie come to Jesus moment, as Jamie faces off with everybody that he done screwed over since the beginning of time, starting from, well, we'll have to stay starting with Dany, though. Before I kick it off to you guys, I think for me, I felt like Dany was a little bit over the top for me in that instance, but that's just my own personal opinion. But I have to look at it from the standpoint that, you know, she has to, you know, relate to him that his actions had some sort of an effect on how her and her brother ended up living life because, but you know, anyway, first of all, it was Robert who started the rebellion. Jamie just happened to, like, you know, end his life because, you know, it was time for him to go. But I just found it kind of weird that Danny would take it so personal when she didn't even know the dude. So I don't know why she would feel the need to have to bring it up, but I guess this was the first time she's actually had the opportunity to face him and be able to say to him, you know, you killed our dad and I just want you to know you on my list. So, AK, what did you think about that scene?
I mean, I'm in agreement with you. It's not even that she didn't know Aries, but she had said previously in talks with John and someone else, I think also, that, you know, she recognizes that her father was a jerk and he was aptly named the Mad King because he was burning folks. So she knows Aries was on some fuckery. Why are you bringing up this old shit about what you and your brother talked about now? We're past that. So no, stop it. For the scene in general, honestly, when I think about it, I just skip towards the end when she's looking at John like, bro, what the fuck? And John nopes the hell out of that argument with the quickness. I don't think I've ever seen John move so fast, and I thought that was hilarious.
I was telling T Baby earlier, yo, he swerved her so hard.
Like, smooth rolled out. He was like, he took one look like, nope.
Okay, T Baby, what were your thoughts?
As far as like Danny in the trial?
That scene between her and Jamie, like what did you think about that?
At first, I was like, girl, calm down, because first, you already knew your dad wasn't shit to begin with. So it seemed kind of hypocritical that she wanted John to forgive her for what her father did, but she wouldn't forgive Jamie for what he did, like knowing what your father was doing. So I was like, really? That's lame. And I like the fact that Sansa took Brienne's word for it and just said, okay. But again, it's all because Bran saved him, to be honest, even though he pushed him out of a window. But Bran forgave him, so I guess I must as well. But I still don't like him, and I'm okay that he's going to die next episode because they were throwing Jamie on us way too much. But I do think that Danny's being hypocritical, and once again you see that she's not a good leader because she can't read the room, she can't read a situation to know when you should forgive someone and when it's time to actually execute or maybe even imprison someone. So that's what I think about the whole situation with her. It's just, and oh, of course, with John swerving her, he swerved her twice, but you know.
We'll get to the second swerve.
Yeah. She got swerved a few times.
Creepy ass Bran for the win in that whole Jamie random trial shit. Also, when he hit him with that, you know, the things I do for love, I couldn't help but bust out laughing.
Yeah, it's like, calm down, buddy. I still know what you did first season. Like, chill out. I still own you a little bit, but I'm glad that I think Bran is playing chess with these people, and he needs people to be in a certain position at a certain time for certain things to happen. So him telling them that Jamie pushed them out the window wouldn't have done any good. And it goes also that he knows that even if he says he forgives Jamie for pushing him out the window, there's no way even John or Arya or anybody would let him live. They just wouldn't, even if it was even if Bran forgave him. So that's all I gotta say.
Come on, Timo.
Timo, come through.
Okay, so this episode was like my favorite ever. This was a redemption for Jamie, a redemption for Jamie fans, the redemption for me as a Jamie supporter, defender since season 1. Like, I was just like, yes. So Bran pretty much said, thank you. We needed Bran to say thank you, because without Jaime, he would not become who he is. And without Bran becoming who he is, we would not know how to fight the Night King. And they all be dead. Like, it was just Jaime love fest all through the episode. And I was just here for it every freaking season. Every scene, I was just like, yes, yes. So, Bran says thank you. Dany is a hypocrite. I called that last episode when she's like, oh, you killed my dad and, blah, blah, blah. You just admitted to Sam that you burned his dad and his brother alive because they wouldn't kneel. Hypocrite. What makes what you do better than what Jaime did? At least he saved lives. But Jaime, being the honorable person he is, he didn't even bring that up. He just stood there like a man, like an honorable man. He stood there and took that. Brienne stands up, and she stands up for her man. And Sansa's like, well, okay, I guess. I trust Brienne, so I'll just do whatever she says, because, that's all she's good for.
Damn, that was harsh.
Then the party they were having the party at the fire when, oh my gosh, when Jaime knighted Brienne. Tears all
Stick
day.
to the scene, Timo. Stick to the scene. We get it. It's a Jaime episode.
I'm sorry.
Okay, wait, hold on. I have to interrupt. There's a cute little creature that just crawled behind you. I need to see the baby.
Oh, hi, Bunny. Come here. Say hi.
Oh, look at him. Look at the little fuzzy.
Look at my fatty. Look at the camera. Every time a direwolf dies, I grab this little thing and I'm like, oh, don't look. Don't look. This is the one, she gets raped by her sister all the time, so her sister's like in the other room. But with the scene, I mean, it went by pretty fast. I'm glad they wrapped it up pretty fast, actually. Like, I knew nothing was gonna happen to Jaime, because, like, I was just glad how he stood like a man. He didn't apologize for pretty much, like, anything. He went to Bran the Godswood and said, I'm sorry. But Bran was like, you protected your family, which is what I've been saying since season 1. He protected his family. That's all he's been doing. Throughout the series, protecting his family. So to hear Bran of all people say it, I felt so validated that it just touched my heart. Bran, you earned so many points from me. You're like, come over to the Lannister side, please. Like, you're allowed. That's all I have to say about that scene.
Thank you, Timo, for sharing your love of Jaime. I have to agree with you. I really enjoyed the redemption arc of Jaime's redemption arc because Feast for Crows happens to be like one of my favorite books because you see I'm sorry, I know you're a Lannister lover, but this is how you see how Cersei goes down, like she just spirals out of control. And this is also the same book where you see Jaime on an upturn. So I appreciated that part of it. Hey B.
B, if you're talking, we can't hear you. You're still muted.
Yeah. Is she talking?
No, possible technical difficulties.
Oh.
We can let her jump back in when she gets back.
Okay.
What scene you want to go to next?
Okay, so just to close out this particular scene, and you guys could just make a quick comment about it. I think also in that scene, this is just what I noticed. You're noticing the difference between Sansa's leadership and Dany's leadership in that they seem to be kind of showing the difference between these two women and how they approach leadership. And we'll get to their scene later when they have that scene together, and how, you know, how Dany actually expresses that. But you see they're two different ways about how they deal with and resolve um what they seem to be a conflict, and how they deal with it. Dany was more quick to want to punish and be impulsive, and it showed. And Sansa seemed to be more like, okay, if you're good with it, then I'm gonna stand by you because I trust you and I trust your judgment, and so I'm going to listen to you, and I'm just gonna trust that you know what you're doing and you know what you're saying. And it didn't. And John, for the most part, was like, yo, we need bodies. So, and I'm swerving. What did you guys think of that? Starting with you, T.
Yeah, as far as like with the difference between Dany and with Sansa, you can see that Sansa stops and really thinks about the situation. She reads it, and that she knows when to trust someone and when not to trust someone. And you see that even though she does not like Jaime for anything, she's going off the word of Brienne. She knows that Brienne is a trustworthy person, which is true. We've seen this throughout the entire time. So I thought it was smart that she set aside her feelings for the better good. And I think that makes her look better in front of all the people that was in that room as well. And made Dany look bad because Dany looked like she's just fixated on the past and kind of reminding herself that she's starting to remind people of the Mad King almost. She's just quick to say, well, you know, we thought about ways to, you know, kill you and stuff. It's like, okay, like I get that. It makes sense. But in that situation, I think you should play your cards differently because you also look kind of crazy in front of John, and I'm pretty sure those words are ringing in his ears. What Sam said, would she lay the crown for you or something, or for her people as well? And I don't think she would. And it's starting to. I think John is starting to notice that, which is a reason why I think he was starting to curve her a little bit. Besides, you know, her being his aunt and stuff. I mean, that would make me want to curve someone if I find out I'm related to you. But yeah, it just shows. And then I think we'll talk later on about her and Dany in that other scene. But I just think that Sansa is up and Dany in this, and Dany's losing on both sides basically.
B, since you speak so I know if I could hear you, because I couldn't hear you last time you was on.
And she is still muted, is what it looks like.
Oh, nuts.
She might be holding the baby.
Okay. We'll come back to her.
Yeah, we'll come back.
Timo, what are your thoughts?
As far as where I got lost. I'm playing a T. We're still with Jaime and that whole trial scene.
Yeah, the very end of that with Sansa, Brienne, and John, Curve, and Dany.
Oh, Sansa. Anyway, I wanted to mention that like Sansa made a comment about Jaime attacked Ned at King's Landing in season 1. But again, he did that to protect his family because her dumbass mom kidnapped Tyrion. I just wanted to put that out there. Like, he didn't just attack Ned just because. He did it to go get his brother. Like, everybody thinks these Starks are so honorable and so, no, they're not. They're just as villainous as the Lannisters. Anyway, but Brienne is another one who finally said thank you and let people know how honorable he is. He didn't apologize for anything, just like I've been saying. It's just, I'm just so, like, I was just loving this Jamie fest here, like, this love fest. I was just like, finally, there's some gratitude among these Northerners. John, in a way, he kind of acted like he was running shit. Just like shade after shade to Danny, like, and she was getting it from all angles too, like in later on seasons, scenes we'll talk about, but she was just like didn't even matter at a certain point, because we all know she's nothing without those dragons. And John just snatched one of hers, and Night King has the other one. So, but yeah, I mean, he gave her shade, and Sansa, I don't know what she did aside from just saying, okay, I will leave Brienne. I don't know what else she did. But I guess we give her credit for stating the obvious. So, yay? Yeah. Okay. That's all I have to say. Okay. That's all I have to say.
I'm sorry, I'm having technical difficulties, so if I'm delayed, please forgive me. B, are you able to speak? Can anybody hear B? Because I can't hear her.
No, it shows her mic is still muted.
Mic is muted.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the next major scene that I want to get to is Jamie and Bran in the Godswood. So, Timo, what were your thoughts about that?
Another scene I loved, because like any scene with Jamie I loved. Even Jamie gave Bran that look like, what are you? Like, what's going on? However, I don't appreciate Bran saying, how do you know what comes after? I'm going to take it as if Bran can't see the future, because that sounds better than, oh, I'm just going to use you to save my life like everybody else is doing to save the Starks. So I'm going to take it as, he doesn't know what's going to happen. But I thought that was a nice scene too. Again, like the acting here, I guess I gotta give credit to Bran too, because he's pretty consistent with his creepiness. Like, so, but even Nikolai Coster-Waldau, he's come a long way too. Like, the acting is really, I believe all these characters, like, they stepped their game up this year. Jamie did apologize to that one person. He's not apologizing for anybody else. So all you fans are all like, oh, he pushed the kid out the window. Well, he did apologize. But Bran said, you were protecting your family. So suck on that. Damn it.
T, you want to go next?
I was gonna point to you, AK, but it's
No,
okay.
AK, go ahead. I'm so over this Jamie talk already.
Says the Sansa
You can't be
lover.
over the Jamie talk because last week we went in on Sansa, so we have to give equal opportunity.
Thank you, Manono.
Okay, then let's just go in on Jamie because first of all, that whole trial let us know that Jamie was not trying to save all those people in King's Landing. He was only doing it because he asked for his father's head. So he's still a piece of shit for that. He said he apologized for Bran and he owes Bran his life for that. And I think that's why the main reason he's going to end up dying for Bran. They keep laying all this, like, they focus so much on Jamie, and they don't normally focus episodes on one character for so long, but majority of this episode was focused on Jamie, was focused on his feelings for Brienne and all of that. It just seems like they're setting it up for this man to fail. Like everyone's so happy and like, yeah, he got this redemption arc and these people are, and it's like you have to also realize that war's coming, and he's also said that he cannot fight. So everyone who keeps thinking, oh, this was such a cool episode, yeah, it was, but it seems like it's also setting it up for him to die. I just don't see him once again surviving this battle when he said himself once again, and he's letting it be known, I can't fight. Go ahead, AK.
I just want to make a point. I didn't see him surviving being thrown in the water with a whole bunch of armor on, but yet he did.
It's just bad writing, in my opinion, if he keeps surviving, but you keep telling us and let him tell us over and over and over again he can't fight, but somehow he survives. It's just bad writing. But that's my opinion, you know. Other people could like it. I just don't.
I could dig it.
Well,
AK?
you can't blame bad writing for stuff that you don't like. I mean, for that matter, I'd say the whole show is bad writing because Santa's still stuck up ass is
And
still
that
alive.
would be your opinion, though. That would clearly be your opinion. In my opinion, if you keep telling people, I can't fight, yet somehow he survives, I just think, and then you put him up front in front line, to me, that's just bad writing. It didn't make sense for someone to have all that armor that close to the dragon to still survive that. That's my opinion. But I get it if you was to say that that's brilliant writing.
I also want to interject that Davos also keeps saying that he can't fight, but yet they still keep putting him in battles and he keeps surviving. So,
and once again, my opinion, bad writing.
I think you know, bad writing.
It's just certain characters I think are built to just survive in order to, you know, further the story along, because they can't bring in every character. So my thing is, I think they're blending them with other people that probably do survive, even though their story may no longer be there. So
and some of that stuff is based on reality. You know, think about it. Like, well, not just that, but some of that is based on reality. Like, you know, like as a nurse, like I've seen people who there's no way, like, oh, they're not going to make it at all. You know, just recently, I was told, like, well, I was in a coma, but, you know, apparently I wasn't going to make it, and I did. But even as a nurse, I've seen people who are like, oh, they're not going to make it. What does that mean? Like, it can be, like, miracles and luck and just all kinds of things. So I mean, it's not beyond the realm of possibility here, you know?
Yeah, I agree, but once again, it's just my opinion. Bad writing.
Santa being smart is bad writing.
Yo, B, since you're on, why don't you give your thoughts from the beginning up until the Godswood scene with Jamie and Bran?
Oh, Jesus.
Yo, B,
look.
Since you're on, why don't you give your thoughts
yes.
from the beginning up until
Who is
the
that?
Godswood scene?
Who got the back?
Oh, jeez. Good job, Manero.
Real nice. Okay. I guess. Damn, y'all, really? Okay, from the beginning,
that argument
it was interesting seeing Last Hearth completely taken over by the Blue Tiles. That was cool, and you see that they're stopping like halfway towards Winterfell. So obviously, like, you know, they're coming, and they get there by the end of the episode. But they're coming. We see that at the beginning of the episode. I thought it was interesting how it just started, like, I guess from like the beginning or the middle of the trial or whatever with Dany, and she just like, oh, my brother used to tell me this and that, and it just, I'm sure you guys have already said this, but one, Dany, your father was a maniac, and two, your brother was a fucking maniac. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you sitting here talking about bedtime stories from Viserys when he was probably like pinching and kicking you through all of those bedtime stories and whatever else. I think she kind of, for a little bit, maybe kind of forgot where she came from. Like, little mama, not too long ago, you was selling your mom's crown, you know what I'm saying, and jumping from place to place to place. So it was interesting sort of seeing her hold court like that, like the first real Westerosi court. type of thing, and seeing how she manages it. I will say that the court also reminded me in season, maybe that's 2, I'm not sure, but after maybe the end of, yeah, actually season 1, the end of season 1, because it's after Blackwater. Do you guys remember the scene where Joffrey is like being introduced to Marjorie, and they do all this pageantry, like, oh, but I'm betrothed to Sansa. Oh, but King, you have to set her aside. She's the daughter of a traitor. Do you guys remember that? Does anybody remember it?
Yeah.
All right, that's what it seemed when Brienne finally got up and walked over and started her speech, and Sansa changed her mind. To me, that's what it felt like. It felt like it was one of those pageantry things. Like maybe Sansa already had it figured out and talked to Brienne or whatever. But the way Brienne got up, came over, and talked to, you don't know me, but da 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 da. And now Sansa's like, you're right, Brienne. Like, you just said that he tried to destroy your house. Like, we can't trust this motherfucker. And then Brienne gets up and is like, oh yeah, your mom, made Jamie swear. And so he did this, this, and that. Like, you really never told her that? It's been like 2 seasons that Brienne could have told Sansa that. So I don't know. It is what it is. I thought it was really corny that they didn't address the whole throwing Bran out of a window thing. I feel like that's a real missed opportunity. But again, from what we saw in the first episode, the way he was staring at Jamie obviously has a much bigger role to play. I really think that him, Daenerys, and Tyrion, the people that Bran was staring at in episode 1 like that, like, they all have really big roles to play down the line. Because otherwise, what's the point in keeping him alive? Bran must see something in the future that, Jamie is integral for. I can't remember what happens next, guys. After that, they get up, they leave.
The scene in the Godswood with Bran and Jamie.
That's the next one?
Yep.
Okay, so seeing the Godswood with Bran and Jamie, I'm still trying to figure out what the hell he was looking at. Like, I just really feel like he had to do something, like look at that something. Because otherwise, what are you out there at that heart tree just sitting there? You waiting for Jamie to come? Like, you could have found him in the castle, but instead you're sitting outside next to the white tree. So I think he's kind of like, maybe he's hopping through history or whatever he's doing, but he's doing something. And yeah, that was it. I thought the question of him asking, like, well, why didn't you tell them? And Bran saying, oh, well, if I told them and they killed you, then you wouldn't be able to help us. Well, he only has one hand, like you said, T baby, he only has one hand and he can't fight. So Bran must be seeing something in his visions that Jamie is doing that is really important or integral, because he said it out his own mouth. You wouldn't be able to help us. If they killed you, you wouldn't be able to help us. So it's something that Jamie's going to do. I can agree with you that if he just survives all of this without a scratch, it's definitely bad writing, because he's saying he can't fight. But there are other characters who really can't fight and they keep making it through, from Sam to Davos to whatever. Like, there's people in the story who aren't fighters, and I mean, that's like real life, right? Like, everybody can't be a fighter, but you may or may not survive even if you're not a fighter. So yeah, that was it. I hope I covered all the scenes. If not, I'm sure chat, let me know.
Yeah, that's everything we've been through. And let's see. So for my thoughts on the Godswood, yeah, Bran is sitting there staring at himself pretty much. And, that's his face that's on the tree now. So he's just going through his files and seeing what's what. I don't know what exactly he's seeing, but he's checking up to make sure all the plans are laid. It's like he's the Queet Sex Satarak. Dune reference for y'all that don't know. There are plans within plans within plans, and Bran is the ultimate puppet master right now, and he's trying to make sure all the pieces are going where they need to be. Case in point, Jamie. If Jamie was killed right then and there, that there's some other shit that he needs to do. I don't know what, but it's important enough for Bran to see that he needs to be there. So
Oh, and
It is
also
what it is.
I wanna make clear because I see you in the chat, T baby. This motherfucker could die. Oh, sorry, this dude could die. Like
I like the scene. I thought it was cool. I think it was a good way for them to kind of it was a good way for Jamie to face Bran, and I think it was also a good it was good for Bran to come face to face with Jamie. I think that they both needed to have that moment, and I think Bran knows something. I agree with Bree. He knows something that's gonna be happening that Jamie needs to be around for. So because he already creeped everybody out, and it was Jamie's turn because when he said, "How do you know there's an after?" I don't think he was necessarily talking about Jamie in particular. I just think that he was just talking in general. You know what I mean? Because of what he may know about what's gonna come down in the future, in the immediate future, or what has already happened, or it could be a number of things. I don't think when he made that comment, I don't think that comment was specifically talking to Jamie. I think he was just talking in general, like, how do you know after all of this is done that there's going to be an after? And that was just Brand being the new Brand being the new Brand.
I agree. Has everyone spoken on this? I think we can go to the next scene.
Yeah. Okay, so the next major scene that I had written down was Danny and Jorah having a conversation. When Jorah goes, because Danny is pissed off at Tyrion after the whole Jamie trial meeting, and she gets real angry, and she yells at, she scolds Tyrion, and Jorah comes back later and kind of like comes back to be kind of like the voice of reason, to kind of, tell her, you gotta own you expect everybody else to own their mistakes, but you're not owning yours. So this is his way of coming to kind of be like the voice of reason, to kind of say like, look, it's okay for you to be angry, but you need to also show some sense of, some understanding, and show some wisdom, to know that people make mistakes, but they can learn from those mistakes and correct themselves, and you move forward. I mean, nobody is perfect. So what did you think about Danny's how Danny took that from Jorah? Let's start with you, B.
I'm sorry. What I was looking up the Sam question thing. So what now?
What do you think about the interaction between Danny and Jorah when he was trying to school her on how she's acting?
Man, y'all know I really like Danny. I used to anyway, but she's like becoming, I don't know if it's spoiled or what. It's just she's becoming like Stannis. Like my rights, my rights, my rights, and it's just fucking annoying, freaking annoying. I think that Jorah was speaking the truth and that she needed to hear it. I think that's the fastest way to say it. Jorah was speaking the truth, but she needed to hear it. Tyrion is smart as fuck. Like, you need him on your team. You're not that smart. You don't know Westerosi politics. You don't. What you have is dragons, and whether you recognize it or not, your dragons have been paving the way for you, like the privilege of privileges, because it is what it is. You got dragons. So I think that it was something that she needed to hear, and I think that at some point Danny gonna have to realize like there's more to this. There's more to this game. There's more to politics, and you can't just get mad at everybody that works for you and fly off the handle and fire them, especially when you don't have no backup plan and you can't do it yourself. So that was it.
All right, T, you want to go next?
Sorry about that. We're talking about Danny and Jorah, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I agree with B. It came down to someone has to let Danny know like how she looks out here. So because right now she looks like she's looking more like her father. Even Jamie, I think later on talks to Tyrion asking like, "Do you really trust her?" And I think before Sansa even questioned Tyrion about like the right queen or something like that, I think Danny doesn't get that she's just invading and trying to force people to fight for a cause that they don't really care for because they've been through so much already. So now that she comes, if she is like Stannis, everything is because I have this right last name. But I will give Stannis a little bit more credit because Stannis at one point was like, they're not going to want me king unless I fight for them. Where Danny, she's just like, I'm doing this, but only because you'll do it. Like, it's the difference between Stannis saying I'm going to do this for their free will to want to fight for me, if that makes sense. Whereas Danny is just like, I'm not even giving you the option. You're either going to fight for me or you'll die. That's it. And it's kind of like, well, is she even better than the Night King? Because that's basically what he's giving you. He's not giving you an option. It's just you're going to die. That's it. So I'm kind of over Danny. I hope that they make her a little bit more smarter and try to work this situation out, because right now they got her looking clueless, and maybe in the book she is going to be clueless when she gets to Westeros because she doesn't know these houses and she doesn't know the extent of what her father's done, just like how she feels towards Jamie. Like, people feel towards her family and nothing good comes from the South mixing with the North in this story. So I like the fact that Jorah knew what was going on, because again, he said that scene uh, right before Tyrion, no, after Tyrion said something about, I suggest one of y'all are probably going to end up having to wear this is beside me, meaning that one of them will possibly be the night, the queen's hand or whatever. So I think Jorah was smart to know that Dany does need Tyrion, but she needs to also realize when to forgive. And I think she needs to hear that, because she's going to be faced with a lot of people who are going to resist her, and she's going to have to find some type of will to forgive them. That's about it.
Cool. Timo, has Timo gone yet? I don't think Timo.
No, go ahead, Timo.
The last episode, they almost warmed me up to her. Very, like, no. I use that term loosely, only because my hatred for Sansa. But this episode, oh my god, then I remembered how much, like, I just can't tolerate her. She thinks she's another spoiled little brat that thinks that everything belongs to her. And you see how jealous she was when Theon came in and was just like, oh, why doesn't he love me? Why doesn't... It's almost like she hasn't learned anything over the past 7 seasons. Like, or maybe over the past 7 seasons, she's conquered the people and freed the slaves, and that's how they loved her. So now it's like she doesn't know how to make people love her. So in Westeros, it's more like, okay, I'm just going to kill you all. No, that's like your father. Didn't we have a conversation about how crazy your father is? And did you have the nerve to put my man on trial about your crazy father? And it's just like, I don't know, like, I'm glad Jorah kind of like turned, it's like, yo, take it down a notch. And he's accepted the fact that he's in the friend zone. Even he's kind of like, you know what, maybe this is a safe place to be because she'll roast my ass too. Because there was a couple times that she had that look in her eye, like she was just ready to burn everybody down, just she wants to rule by fear almost, when before she used to want to rule by love. And now that she's not getting the love that she thinks she deserves for no reason, now she wants to rule by fear. Now she wants to just threaten everybody, and and that just makes me just dislike her even more. Like, I'm all down for like burning certain people and all, but I mean, you gotta earn it, and she hasn't earned anything. Like, getting some northern dick ain't earning nothing. So she gotta do a little better than that.
Yeah, I think Danny is definitely losing her shine. And in that moment, Jorah really was the perfect person to talk to her because he's a Northman. He knows how people are going to view different things. He knows how the North operates. And if she was smart, I think she would have done better in her talk with Sansa, which Jorah is the one that even put that idea in her head to do. And he was right, but she didn't really execute that plot very well at all. She's not seeing the big picture, just like a lot of folks now. Danny isn't seeing the big picture. Hopefully, after all this fighting and whatnot is said and done, she gets it together. Well, hopefully they all get it together, but I don't know. It's Game of Thrones, so
True. I one point I also want to add. I think she's not taking a lesson from Aegon. Aegon, before he decided to his conquest of Westeros, he knew Westeros. Like, he had visited different parts of Westeros. He even didn't he have like a table constructed of all the different like a map of Westeros?
Yeah,
so
Dragonstone.
before he went in, he already knew the layout of the land, who was who. And he even went so far as to already get some of the lords or some of the nobility on his side before he decided to even go on with his plan to conquer. I think that's a major issue that Dany doesn't have. She wants something, but yet she wants to rule a people she doesn't know. She wants to rule a land she doesn't know, and she thinks that just because her name is Targaryen, that it's supposed to be automatic, that these people are supposed to just fall in line. And that is not how that works. And I don't know if I also blame the people around her too for not schooling her before she even came over here. They kept filling her head saying that, oh, you're a good person, you're a great queen, you set us free, blah blah blah. At some point your head is going to swell up and you're going to think like, well, yeah, I am great, so when I get there everybody's just going to love me, and whoever doesn't love me, guess what, I'm just going to burn them and then feed them to my dragons. Because that used to be that was always her way of resolving issues, even back in Essos. If people didn't fall in line for her, she either burnt them or had her dragons eat them. So you can't keep. I think now she's gonna have to put a switch, because you can't just expect the people who don't know you, and in truth, you don't know them, and yet you expect them to want to follow you. So that is like, that is something that she's going to have to try to figure out and manage if she really wants to be queen. And from that conversation, that's a segue to the scene between her and Sansa, because that's what happened. That's what comes up next after her scene with Jorah. So T, what did you think about that?
As far as her talking to Dany and Sansa talking to each other, or
yeah, that scene between Sansa and Dany.
Oh, it goes to show once again that I think Dany doesn't know Westeros, like you said, and it shows that she's not a good ruler. Like, she's a good conqueror, and the difference between what she did in Essos and what she did in Westeros is that she gave them an option. She gave everyone she freed an option. You could either ride with me or I'll let you go. It is what it is. Here she's like, bend the knee or I'll kill you. So there's already two different approaches to how she's going about it. And yes, I know she can't approach it the same way as Essos, but it's still a big difference because there she was liberating people, and here she's like basically enslaving them, saying you're either going to bend the knee to my will and do what I want you to do, or I'm just going to burn you, all because I have the right last name. And people, and then the North has a right, and I feel like people don't understand that the North has been fighting for their freedom since season 1. So I never saw them just giving the North away and it not being a big issue. And I like the fact that she's like, I get John bent the knee, but we're not going to bend the knee. So what's really going to happen with the North? And I think Danny, once again, a big mistake is that she gave the Iron Islands away. Like Yara said, I'll take whatever you give me. I think she would have been fine with just the title of being Warden of the Iron Islands or something like that. But she was just freely giving her the Iron Islands. But now you want to work so hard for the North, and you don't even know the history behind it, and you're trying to take away what people have been fighting for. She even contradicted herself because she told Sansa that she was taking the Iron Thrones back from people who wronged her family and killed her family. And Sansa, she hit her back with the same thing. Like, we basically did what you're trying to do. So y'all took the North from us. We took it back, and we're not going to bend the knee. And like I said last week, it goes back to what Mance was trying to say to John about bending the knee. He says, once you bend the knee, everyone's going to not respect you, and they're going to all go their separate ways, and it's not going to work. And I think John just missed that. Yeah, it is a war, and they do have to think about the Night's King, but now you're hearing people say you also have to think about the bigger picture, what's going to happen after this thing. And another thing that I think was wild is she was like, I'm fighting John's war. And it's like, is it really just his war? Because the Night King is a threat to you. You want Westeros so bad, it is going to be a threat. So no matter what, if you didn't fight for Jon in this situation, it was only going to get worse. So a lot of people say, the North is, they're not being grateful for and everything. But she doesn't really have a choice. Like, the smarter decision would be to try to fight while you have them at a smaller number than to fight and they take over the North and then come down south. So I like the fact that Sansa stepped up and she's not taking and she's not giving the North to her. And I think that it would only make sense that the North keep fighting for their freedom, not just give it away because she came with dragons. Because nothing ever really comes well when they mix with the South or when they go down south to fight in any type of war. So I don't blame her for still standing her ground. And then you see that I think Sansa was playing her at the beginning when she tried to fake, like, she let her guard down, like, oh, I should have apologized to you. That was BS. She definitely didn't feel that way. But I feel like she was playing Dany in that situation. And then when it got to business, she was like, but what about the North? And you saw Dany back away. Like, Dany just has to have the North. When last season, she was going to fight no matter what if she had the North or not. So that's it.
Well said. AK, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I actually agree with T. That was well said. When watching it, I appreciated them both for actually sitting down like grown women and talking. But the issue is they're both playing each other, and that combination just isn't ever going to work between them. I totally see Sansa's point. Still not a Sansa fan, but I absolutely see her point. But she also needs to look at everything completely. Dany needs to do the same thing. Dany more so, honestly, than Sansa. She's losing way more her shine right now than Sansa is, and she needs to get it together. They both still do, but in that conversation, yeah, there's just way too much to unpack there for it to go on anymore with this damn war that's coming.
Cool. B, what are your thoughts?
I agree with T and with AK regarding the playing. I definitely think it. When I was looking at this scene, I was like, okay, interesting. Because Danny comes in with the sweet smile thing, whatever, and then they going back and forth. And then Danny reaches out and touches Sansa and is like, but I love John. And do you think I'd be here if I didn't love your brother? And blah, 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 blah. And Sansa took one look at her and was like, okay, you want to play? Let's play. You're absolutely right. How horrible of me. I should have apologized and blah, blah, blah. She didn't mean any of that. And Danny didn't mean all the stuff that she was saying about John. I'm sure she feels a way about him. Maybe she even does love him, but she was trying to work Sansa and didn't realize what she was playing with. Sansa, to me, in that scene, I was like, Sansa would be a good, a good queen if that's what happens to her. But even better, because of who Sansa has been studying under, Sansa would be a badass hand. That's who Danny needs as hand. You want a hand right now? After you're done with the White Walkers and you got to take on Cersei? Make Sansa your hand. She'll take Cersei out. I don't know if we can trust Tyrion right now, but Sansa will do it. Like I was sitting, y'all know I don't like Sansa like that. I really like show Sansa. But this season has turned me into a Sansa believer. Those homegirls stood there looking like a mix of Olenna, Littlefinger, Cersei, Varys, Joffrey, like everything that has impacted Sansa negatively. I feel like right now she's literally taking something from all of those people in all those situations and has become the player that she is in this game. And again, like I was saying before with Danny, she's not ready. Danny does not know how to play the game. So she tried it. She tried Sansa and she got played. I think she just didn't catch it.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
Timo. I don't think Timo went.
I do not believe Sansa would be a good hand because she cannot be trusted. She always looks out for herself above all others. I would not trust her for shit. But first, my first thought in the scene was, oh my god, really? We're about to die? Can we stop like the dick measuring contest and focus on the task at hand? Like, let's, get it going. Sansa was worried about food. She should be like, oh, I'm glad the Lannister army didn't come because that's less mouth to feed. Instead, she's over here scolding everybody and like, I told you so. My nose all up in the air. I told you so. Sansa stink face. Anyway, um, Danny, what I don't understand with Danny is she gave the Iron Islands independence like freely without even like a blink of an eye. Granted, Tyrion said don't do that because everybody's gonna want independence. But I think that's because they kind of asked for it. There was a respect there, there was a little, flirty going on. And, there was, all that. Here, Sansa being Sansa, who's, I'm better than you, is like, well, what about the North? And Danny, who's like, well, I'm better than you, is like, well, fuck you. I'm not giving you the North. That's what it's all about. Like, if Sansa had asked more politely, not that Danny deserves that because who the fuck are you? But if Sansa had asked more politely, then maybe I guess she would have been more, or maybe even better off if John had asked Danny, maybe like, some pillow talk. Hey, can we still have our independence? I mean, if you go to war, we'll still be there for you, but we want our independence. She could have said yes, because she gave it freely to the Iron Islands with nothing, like nothing, and they gave ships and stuff. I mean, she can do the same exact thing for the North. I don't know why she's acting like this is a no-brainer and this is something that she'll never do. I don't understand why that is, other than her just asserting her dominance now. Like asserting the fact that she's the head bitch in charge because there's other bitches in charge, you know? And it's just like, oh god, I hope the Night King like kills them all or destroys Winterfell so there is no north to rule, So I was just like, you know what? I'm done with that scene. Oh, that's it.
What's up next?
Okay, so let's switch gears to a character I think everybody kind of likes, Arya. Is that cool with everybody?
Oh, I'm not ready.
Um,
I am. Arya got that.
let's talk about
D.
I want to talk more about Arya and Gendry, and we'll
Yeah.
save her other scenes as honorable mentions because that's what it felt like to me. Her other scenes. The scene in particular that I want to talk that struck me with Arya is when she was talking to Gendry, when he was asking if he had made her weapons. She was trying to get intel from Gendry about how what are the whites like? Like she was asking like detailed questions to kind of get some intel as far as what are they like? What do they smell like? How do they move? You know what I mean? Because in her mind, as a fighter, she's trying to figure out, well, what is going to be her best going to be her best tactic in order to be able to, put her best foot forward. So, B, let's start with you. What did you think about that scene?
Oh, okay. I'm muted. I'm gonna be honest with you. Call me a horn dog, whatever. Going through things in life, I don't care. But when I saw her, yo, she was getting information about the whites. But y'all gonna tell me y'all didn't see Arya roll up and side eye him while he was steaming whatever that was? He dipped in that water. He dipped this shit in the water, like all the steam came up, and Arya was on the side, mad dogging him, like, damn, that looks good. And he kind of looked at her like, damn, that looks good. And I'm gonna be quite honest with you, that's all I cared about in the scene. Like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, they boning. They are boning. I didn't think it was gonna bone like happen that episode, but it did. Like, that's all I have to say. I don't have anything smart to say. I don't have no insights for y'all. That's it. Arya got the Gendry D. Arya is now Storm Queen. That's all. And that's it. I don't have nothing else to say. Arya for Storm Queen. Damn, did y'all die? Or can I just not hear anybody?
Timo, one of y'all go.
You say T or Timo?
You go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, because my friends in real life, call me T, so I'm always like, what? Anyway, oh my gosh, like, I know people have been shipping Gendry and Arya for years, and like, I really kind of wanted that too. However, like, I felt like so dirty, and I am all for sex scenes. Like, bring me ass, titties, dicks, like, bring it all. I love it. But holy crap, I felt like I grew up with this kid, and Maisie Williams still has like a kid face. And mind you, I just rewatched the whole season, like series, because that's tradition. And it's just like, oh my god, this little girl is like having sex. Not only is she having sex, she's like fucking telling him to like take off your own pants, and she's stripping it off, and she like like I guess losing her virginity, rotting him off, and it's just like, oh my god, the guy from To Catch a Predator is gonna bust in here any minute, saying I'm watching some kiddie porn. I'm just like, this is like uncomfortable. Oh my god, I'm watching little Arya, ride some Gendry dick. What the fuck is going on in this show? It's like that is not a scene I'm gonna rewatch. I'm just saying, like I'm not going to jail. This show is not putting me to jail. Okay, it's like that's too much for me. Anybody else can do it, but them two, no. They could have cut away. The kiss was enough. A kiss, maybe her taking her shirt off, her shirt to show the scars. Okay, I'm cool. And then cut. My imagination could
Who
have
else is
been,
going next?
yeah, my
Keith?
imagination could have went whoop, and then it was too much.
Yeah, go ahead, T.
I didn't mind it at all. I mean, it's more, we always look at Arya as a warrior, but now it's like because she does things just like a warrior would do. If it's the night before battle, most of them, just like Tyrion did, they want to have sex and, fuck like it's their last night. So I didn't see nothing wrong with it. They've shown that Arya had a thing for Gendry since she was little, and she was checking him out even when she was little. So I think, like I said, I don't think nothing was wrong with that scene at all. I mean, I think it was nice that for once you saw someone who wasn't raped and the scene was actual consensual and it was something they both wanted. I like that it wasn't. I like the fact that it was kind of awkward because I wouldn't think Arya would be this sexy symbol thing that would be real good at flirting and teasing and stuff like that. So I like the fact that it was a little awkward, but it got to the point. I like the fact that it was more like he gave her what she wanted, and they were like, because I don't think she went down there expecting to see him and for it to happen. I think she just took advantage of the situation once he presented her gift, and then he was, because earlier he was concerned for her, and he was like, it's safer to go in the crypts and stuff. So you can tell that he cares for her. And I think that when she started showing the skills, you start to see that he was really into her. And so he wasn't looking at her as just like, oh, that was just a little girl that was following me when we were younger. And now, she's an adult. So that's what I took out of that scene. It's just that, Arya's a warrior just like any man, and she wants to get hers off right before battle because you never know, it could be the last night. But that's about it.
Yeah, no, I'm about to go right now. As far as Arya and her tactics, like that's just baby girl showing her skills. She's been taught by some epic fighters, and you don't get too much more epic than learning strategies from the House of Black and White. So I loved seeing that. Her and Gendry still gagging. I understand why it happened. Yeah, it's the eve of battle. I might fucking die in a few hours. So break me off a little piece. Let me get it in. But as soon as the shit was over, you look at her face. She was right back to business. One little tryst still isn't enough to make me ship Gendry and Arya. It was a bit of fan service scene, and I understand that. I get it. Cool. But yeah, still not shipping it. I know plenty of people have been telling me like, no, you see it's gonna happen. Okay, they fucked. That don't mean that they're epically in love and want to be betrothed and all that other nonsense. Meh. That's pretty much how I feel about it. Still gagging.
In one of the behind the scenes, Arya did say that she was in love with Gendry.
Still gagging.
You could see the way that she eyes him, that she feel, even from, you could tell that they both like each other. I don't think you could tell from when they first got reunited last episode. You could tell the way that she was looking at him this episode. Excuse me if I talked about the tactics, because that's the military geek in me, that I like that she was trying to get intel. And I think that that's going to play an important part, because Arya up until this point has been fearless, but she hasn't really had to face the real dead. So, how brave is she going to be when it comes down to it? You know what I mean? And how is the intel that she is trying to get from Gendry, how is that really going to help her in the end? You know what I mean? Because you don't know until, the time comes. But they're all going to die anyway, so don't matter.
Yeah, exactly. I think there was way too much mushiness in this whole episode, and I get it. It's a last like feel good moment that we're gonna have, because a bunch of motherfuckers is about to die, and I don't want to see my little wolf pup get put down. But the truth of the matter is, she might be out of here next episode. Just the thing. I found that's the safest way to go about it. Just everybody's gonna fucking die.
She ain't gonna die next episode. I don't want
them to die, but people gonna die. And you're right, B. It probably won't be the next episode, but eventually it can happen. I hope it don't.
Arya making it to episode 6. I don't know if she gonna die in episode 6 or what, but she making it to episode 6. Mark my words. Y'all heard it here first. Arya is not dying in none of these episodes, y'all. Y'all want to see Arya die? You might as well wait to the end of the season and see if she died in, and we see the death of Arya. But she making it through them 6 episodes.
That's pretty much it. Like Macy had shared a picture of her with like bloody sneakers on, and it was just after they were done filming, and Lena Headey replied saying, last queen standing, talking about Macy. So I think we're gonna see her to the end, but she might end herself, unfortunately. My fingers are crossed. I hope it doesn't happen that way. I want to see my girl live and go on to be the epicness that she is. But anybody's on the chopping block.
Okay, so I'm going to touch on 2 more things, and then if we have time, we can do some honorable mentions. Okay, all the Black brothers reuniting again at Winterfell. So I like that scene because these guys had been through a lot together, and here they are back again, coming to make the last dance, and it's kind of like they just fall right in to the way that they were before, where everybody Ed is just being Ed, right? And Tormund is being Tormund. And I really enjoyed that scene. I don't know if anybody had any comments or anything extra that they wanted to say about it, but I thought that was a really great way. I thought that moment kind of like, at that moment, it kind of made it real for me, especially when they were standing on top of the wall, the Winterfell wall. And then they were looking out into the distance, into the cold. It just like really solidified to me that it's about to go down. I don't know if anybody had any thoughts about that. AK?
I very much appreciated that scene. Like while watching it, I took a drink for the fallen homies, Pip and Gren. So sad that they couldn't be here at this moment at the end, but it was it was pretty awesome, and I love that they brought them all back together again like that.
B, you have any thoughts?
No, it's just a bunch of mushy shit. I'm happy that some people didn't die. Like, way to go, Night's Watch. Like, in the books, it's more y'all alive though, but whatever. Like, okay, like y'all know, like we're looking at all these, like the way this episode is shaped up for me, like in a nutshell, was this is a setup for some heartbreaking shit. So everybody had, all these good moments or whatever, and next episode, like they just about to be taking heads, but they're not going to take the heads of nobody that's the main character. I guarantee it. Those 5 we discussed, whatever day that was, I guarantee it. They are going to make it to season 6. So, not season 6, to episode 6. So, I really didn't care. I didn't think this was a great scene. Sorry. Not sorry.
B is like, start fucking stabbing people already.
I mean, no, but can we though? Like, I'm starting to feel like T. Like, at first I was like, T, baby, stop trying to kill everybody. Like, I was literally telling her, T, you cannot kill everybody in the first episode. You can't kill everybody in the first 2 episodes. you there's plot points and all this other shit. But now I'm just like, kill him. Like, will you die already? Will somebody die? You can't kill everybody in the first 2 episodes. You there's plot points and all this other. Dang, who is that? Naro? Like, kill him. Like,
Yeah. Naro still got the chat going. I think I was at T or Timo. Y'all got any thoughts on the Night's Watch brothers?
Go ahead, Timo.
I think that scene was. I'm sorry. I'm the resident fan service person here. Like, I guess because it's ending, I was there for it. It just like it touched and hurt my heart because I was like, the wall is gone. So, like, yeah. And then I'm like, okay, so I'm sorry, Ed, but you're dead. I'm just like, they spoiled a lot of deaths in this episode. Theon, Grey Worm, Brienne, Beric, Gendry, Ed. List goes on and on. All these little goodbyes. So Ed was just added to my list. So that was all. And is that where we got the ghost sighting?
Yeah, that little 5 seconds of ghost that they gave us, making my boy look stupid just standing there. Like, what the fuck? What? Come on, man. I thought Ghost might have been off on a secret mission to go get Nymeria and the pack. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Ghost is a badass. You don't have my man just sitting in the background.
Now you see what you guys. No, you guys did this. So now if Ghost dies, because everybody wanted to see Ghost so bad, now if he dies, I'm blaming all of you.
Everybody gonna die, Timo. He Ghost, but he didn't need to be sitting there.
Single one of you that said, "Where's Ghost? Where's Ghost?" I was as soon as Summer died, I was like, you know what? I don't want to see Ghost because as soon as we see him, he's gonna die. So now, thanks to you, we saw him, and now he's on the death list. Thanks a lot. With his little ass.
Everybody was on the death list already, though. This is nothing new.
No, he's a puppy. Where's my direwolf? Come here, Yogi.
Naro, where we at next?
No, I didn't say anything yet. As far as that, I think it was kind of like a wasted scene. But I agree with Timo. It's more of like y'all been complaining about you didn't get to see Ghost, so like it's like bam here. Like we're showing you that he's here. So I think you're gonna get more hopefully with him when a battle actually happens. But I think that was just to like show fans like stop complaining that we don't see Ghost. As far as that scene, the only thing that seemed interesting is the part where they said, whoever's the last one standing, make sure you burn this all, and then it pans to John. So I think that was interesting. But I'm with B. I'm getting a little irritated where it's just like, I get that they're setting it up, and I might enjoy these episodes more as a whole if I watch it, like I binge it, but like the episodes on their own, I find them a little boring.
That's fair.
Understandable.
Okay, so the last scene that I want to get to is Brienne's knighting. I'll take that last. So B, let's go with you first. What did you think?
I thought it was great. Especially if you're a book reader or you're somebody like, it was one of those lighter parts of the episodes that I was like, okay, cool. Like, this really does not have to be here, but this is obviously one of those dying wish type of things. Like, like everything else in this episode. They could have just named this episode Dying Wishes, like just doing nice shit for people before they die or before people die or all hell breaks loose. Like, knighting Brienne for me was almost like, and I know this is some geeky stuff, but whatever. It was almost like seeing Sir Duncan the Tall from, all those novellas get knighted. Like, it was amazing because you have this person that is really one of the truest knights in Westeros in everything but name. She's loyal, you know what I'm saying? She protects the weak, like all these things. And she's doing it. I would have liked for her to have been knighted by someone else, but hell, she loves Jaime, so it's like it's a real, I think, a very cool thing to have the person that you love knight you. That's like if you're graduating from college or something like that, and somehow they switch the dean out with your mama to give you your degree or something. Like it's really, I think it was a really touching moment. Especially with everyone sitting there. I remember when he was like, "Yeah, any knight can make a knight," and then everybody starts looking around, and Tyrion gets up. Like everybody gets up to to support her, and I thought that was great. I thought that was great because if anybody deserves a knighthood, it's definitely Brienne, definitely Brienne. So yeah, I just thought it was a really good scene. Jamie not gonna die. He's not gonna die, T baby. He's not gonna die next episode, yo. He's not. I know you want him to. I want him to too, but he's not.
Yo, I absolutely got all of my damn life from this scene. First of all, it's awesome that Timo just deleted T Baby's comment. That's hilarious. But I think it was saying a lot that Tormund is the one that stepped up. Like, wait, you're not a sir? You're not a knight? Because there's this badass warrior woman wearing armor, and he knows, those southern lords, for him, south of the wall, they love their knights, and he can't fathom the fact that Brienne is not a knight. So he's like, what the fuck is happening here? And I'll give Jamie some shine for this. He stepped up to the plate, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, the name of the episode was "A Night of the Seven Kingdoms," and if you want to talk about callbacks for the season, this was a excellent callback for all the book readers. "A Night of the Seven Kingdoms." That's the compilation of Dunk and Egg stories, and Dunk was the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, and also is Brienne's ancestor. So how fucking fitting was this scene for all of that? And I absolutely loved it. I almost cried, but I held it together. And it was fucking awesome.
T, you want to say something?
Yeah, I think it's, even though, like, I get you would think someone else should do it, I think it was probably best that Jamie did knight her, just because of that relationship with them, and how, like, let's be honest, Jamie is shit, but when he's around Brienne, she does bring out the best in him. So I think it was only fitting that his last hours he did something nice for her, especially since she saved him from, being executed. But I think that it was like, even though we saw Arya actually become intimate with Gendry, that scene you could tell was more intimate with them two, just because like he's been just staring at her the entire fucking episode. Like, we get it, they like each other, they probably in love with each other, which makes me say, and I know y'all hate this, but it seemed like this was a goodbye episode for James, because they focus so much on him, and they've never really done that in any episode. But like everyone's been saying, this is everyone's saying their final kind of farewell, because they don't know what's going to happen in this battle, but they just focus so much on Jamie. And the fact that like they were doing when they were singing the song and everything, and how the camera was panning around, they said something about dying with honor, and then it panned straight to Jamie. So I think it's going to be like a tragedy with love, where you have these two people who are going to die in battle, probably. I have a feeling that Brienne is going to die trying to save Jamie, because she said something in season 2 that kind of always stuck out with me. And she was like, "Why? Who would want to die for a Lannister?" And I was like, bitch, you're going to die for a Lannister just because you said that. But the reason why I think Jamie is going to die is just because they're showing so much of him in this episode. But going back to the whole Brienne thing, I think that he was the only one that I think it would have had a deeper impact for her, because at the beginning he was teasing her the whole time, saying, basically saying women shouldn't be knights and anything. And from that to now, where he's like acknowledging her, I think that that made it more genuine for her.
Timo?
Okay. I think we got a lot of Jamie this episode because we were starved for Jamie. So they redeemed themselves by giving us a lot of Jamie this episode. The party that they had by the fire, which like I wanted to be there. Jamie wasn't intimidated by Torment at all. He already knows that Brienne is his. Like the wildlings say, like she's mine. I've claimed her, you know. And he finally felt like that seemed like a place where he belonged, you know. And yeah, like he does love Brienne, even though his sister Cersei, which I really missed her this episode, but even though his sister is his true love, okay. I don't think that Jamie's gonna die. I'm gonna be in complete denial. He is not dying, and he is definitely not dying on episode 3. I refuse. Like that's not happening. I'm sorry. It's not happening. I think that Bronn might reach Winterfell and mm, try to kill Jamie, as much as it hurts to say. Brienne sees it, jumps in the way or something, and then Jamie holds her in his arms, like you know how Jon held Ygritte in his arms while she passed away, like same thing, like an arrow, and like he's holding her in his arms, and like there is like a crying moment or whatever, you know, during battle, but something like that. I took that scene as okay, Brienne's gonna die, and I just wrote that on the list. Like, okay, she's on the death list. You know, I mean, but Jamie's not dying at all. I mean, I know you want him to, but he's not. That's it.
Go ahead, B.
Damn it, muted. Okay. I know you guys are like, what the hell? And maybe you missed this right here, but I think we finally found out what Pa did in the whorehouse, y'all. I know y'all like, oh, he ate the cat. No. Because Braun eats the cat and he eats booty. We know that from the show. There's been several times where Braun has been stopped from eating the cat and or eating booty. Don't believe me? Go back to Blackwater and watch when he has that altercation right before he has the altercation with the hound, and they end up sitting down to drink. The whore that he's with, he tells her, "Don't be sad. My nose will be halfway up your ass by the time this is over." He eats pussy, he eats ass. Like that's just it is what it is. That's not what Podrick did. We found out this episode what Podrick did in that whorehouse, y'all. And he sang. That's what it was. He sang to them like I'll be sure and then put down the D. And I just wanted to say that because I don't know if anybody had mentioned that. But like I didn't know that Pod could sing. He's a freaking songbird, apparently. And I think that's what he did in the whorehouse. That's it.
Leave it to B to come with the most random shit.
Well, I have known ladies that have probably dropped many a penny for a man who could sing. So
Yo, Eddie Murphy said it best, man. If you are a singer, you will get all of the panties. Just sing.
Come on, I'm saying.
I mean, I feel you.
Is this a never have I ever thing?
I really love this scene. For me, this is for me from a book standpoint, because seeing how their journey began, to me this kind of like closes their kind of like brings their journey and their story to its ultimate completion for me, because this is as close to both of them expressing. This is as close to Jamie expressing his love for Brienne and Brienne feeling the love from Jamie as to me as it's gonna get. You know what I mean? At least on the show. I'm hoping for more in the books. I'm hoping for a little bit more in the books because their situation is a little bit different. But for me on the show, I truly love the scene. I when it was happening, I was like Tormund. You know how Tormund got up and started clapping like he was like the supportive boyfriend? Like that was me. You know what I mean? That's how I felt in that moment. And yeah, they're about to die, so why not? She'll die a knight, which had been, something that she has wanted for a very long time. And who else but the man she loves to be the one to knight her? So I had a great appreciation for the scene.
Yeah, I absolutely fully agree. And since B brought up the song, I did forget that Podrick singing and them going through, seeing where everybody was at. That was very reminiscent to Pippin singing for Denethor right before the Battle of Osgiliath. And I thought that was a brilliant fucking move for them to do.
Yeah, very well done. Very well said. Yeah. Okay, so the last scene we'll get to is Danny and John in the crypts, where he reveals who he is to her. So T, let's start with you.
I like how it played out. I like how can I say? Let me read. Okay, so this scene I liked how he basically told her and how he broke it down. And I think the part that's really going to catch her is the fact that he said, he had she had a baby and he couldn't say nothing because if Robert found out, he would have killed the baby. And she knows firsthand that Robert would have killed tried to kill her child. So I think she does know, excuse me. I think she does know for a fact that he is, and then the whole him on the dragon, I think is all kind of coming to her. But even with her knowing all of this, the way she looked at John, the horn had played, so they couldn't really. John looked away, but the way she looked at him, she looked like she was going to burn him right then and there. So I don't know. I think he needs to be careful around Danny because I don't know if Danny's going to tell Tyrion or is she going to keep this to herself and still try to play to try to get the throne. We did see her have that one see her in a vision like almost touching the throne. But I don't know. Something tells me John's going to give it up, but then also I think John's going to die. So he's, in my opinion, it's not even going to matter. But I don't think she's in that. Based off of that scene, I do not think she's going to give up the Iron Throne, even though I think she knows he's telling the truth.
Got a point there, Timo.
The only thing I have to say about this scene is that, like, I don't know if it's credit to her acting, but she turned all like fire and blood on him. Like her face was just scorn, and she was ready to. If she had her dragons down there in the crypt or something, I think she would have burned his ass. But that just showed us, like how Sam said last episode, when she put her crown down, that just proved to us that no, she would not give up her crown. And she is more power hungry, maybe the same as Cersei. So can everybody stop like dogging on my girl and just be like, you know what? These little girls, they all want to be Cersei, but they can't. Like, like they all want to be Cersei, but they can't. But that face she gave John was like, okay, he's in trouble. He didn't even get a chance to be like, yo, I'm just trying to save the world, like calm down, bitch, nothing. So that's it I have to say about with her. She just did the whole 360 on him.
Someone go.
Mara.
All right, well, Brittany going, dang it. I thought this scene was ridiculous. I think Danny to have her whole damn like face smacked right here. I was a little bit upset with her. Like, what is wrong with you? You've been the only Targaryen since like forever in your mind. You've been complaining about being the only Targaryen, feeling lonely and all this other stuff. And now you got another Targaryen here who's hot and that you can bone. And your first reaction is, nah, G, I'll shank you. You ain't about to take the kingdom from me. Like, that's how I felt like she was reacting. Like, she had a very, very, very negative reaction. I don't see how Danny, it didn't click to her that, oh shit, he can ride my dragon. Like, that, we said that the first episode, that should have clicked. I thought that was really hella stupid. Like, you on a dragon, nobody says anything, and they don't point out the fact that you're probably Targaryen or have some sort of Valyrian blood in you, something like, mm-mm. Danny is wrong. She's dead wrong. And I mean, I guess that's why she's gonna die anyway, unfortunately. But I think they're trying real hard to make us not like Danny. She's doing way too much. I think they're trying hard to make us hate her so that when she flips out and dies a horrible death, we won't feel so bad about it. But yeah, I'm really disappointed in her.
Yeah, I liked the way that John actually told a story to get the information out there. It seemed like she had more of a reaction than John did when he was told. But I do agree with B though. It shouldn't be automatically looking at John like he's now a rival, because it's just dumb. I mean, for all intents and purposes, you're John's bae. Even if he is above you in the line of succession, he's gonna fucking marry you if y'all both survive this shit anyway, and you're still gonna be queen. So there really ain't that much of a reason for you to be all bitchy and in your feelings about this shit right now. Bigger picture, Danny. Look at it.
I laughed at this scene. I laughed at her face. I just thought it was funny, but in retrospect, I was like, this whole episode for Danny has been like a slow burn because she couldn't win for losing, and I think that moment in the crypt is just kind of like made her feel like, I just want the Iron Throne, and it's like there's so many obstacles in my way from me getting this throne, and now this is just the one obstacle that might really threaten me. I thought Cersei was a threat. This is a real threat to my throne. And I agree. You just found out that you're not the only Targaryen. Shouldn't that have been more important to you than the fact that he might have a higher claim to the Iron Throne than you? Because you've been around John. Does John look like somebody who wants to sit on a throne? He is a reluctant leader. He doesn't want to be a king. He doesn't want to be a leader. You know what I mean? And so I don't think that should have been the immediate reaction from her. Shock, yes, because you just found out that you were screwing your nephew. That might be a shock. But the way that her face twisted, I think that's going to be like the major conflict, but I think that they're both playing the part of different characters in the book. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But they're going to have to put that on hold because, White Walkers are here. So, but I agree with you, AK, that I like the way that John told the story in order to reveal the truth to her. And you could see as he's slowly telling the story how her face slowly starts to change to the point where it becomes like, she becomes Aries. Not, was it Aries? Yeah, she becomes Aries. So those are all the scenes that I have. I do have some honorary mentions if you guys want to take a few minutes to go through those.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Honorary mentions: John swerving Danny twice. He swerves her at the Jamie trial, and then he swerves her again after they had the I guess the battle plan meeting. Other honorary mention, Tormund this whole episode. From the time that he tackles John, from when he first gets to Winterfell, to the scene in the when they were all around the hearth, how he tells the story how he's Giantsbane.
Is the big woman still here? Priorities, Tormund. He is about that life.
Another honorary mention is we got a scene with Jorah and with Lyanna Mormont, even though it was brief, and it's probably going to be the only scene that they share together, probably because, I guess they had to show that since they're both going to die anyway. But I think Jorah might live just so that T could, just so that they can get T. They might just let him live. We get the scene with Sam giving Jorah Heartsbane. Another honorary mention, we have a scene with Arya, the Hound, and Beric Dondarrion, because those three haven't seen each other since, I guess, before the Red Wedding.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, in that scene, Arya's resting bitch face and eye rolls were everything. She was so over all the fuck. She was like, okay, I came up here. I talked about what I wanted to talk about. Fuck y'all. I'm out.
I'm not spending my last night with you old shits. I am out of here. What else did I have as an honor? Do you guys have any honorary mentions that y'all want to bring up?
I do.
Oh, here Timo go waxing poetic again. Go ahead, Timo.
Yeah, I have to say something. Let's see. Bran said the Night King's been following all the three-eyed ravens. So he decides to bring his ass south of the wall. Thanks a lot, Bran. Davos serving bowls of brown, and myself, I gave a little side eye to Sansa, like, oh, you didn't know about that, did you? And then a little snippet for me, we've seen White Walkers in the previews and everything, but we have yet to see the Night King and the dragon. Wouldn't it be nice if he was flying south or burning castles from the south, starting with the Glovers, and burning even, well, I hate to think, but even King's Landing, and strategically working his whites to flank them south. So if they try to flee south, they're fucked either way. I don't know. That was just something I thought about, because I'm like, where is the dragon? Where is the Night King? Why are we seeing all these other people? Where's the dragon? But that's all for me.
But the Night King, he's never really in front in battle. He always comes up later, but he sends a swarm of them first. So I think that the Night King is around, but he's always playing in the background. You never really see him ahead until he's already perceived. And I think he's really smart with battle tactics. So I think he is going to surprise them. I think they think that everything is prepared as best as they can, but I think he's got something up his sleeve. Because what I really realize, what I'm starting to think is every time you hear the crows, you instantly think it's Bran. But what if it's the Night King actually peeping in? Because we did see that the Night King noticed Bran when he was in the Ravens, when he was peeking at him over the wall. So it's all, my whole thing is I think that you're onto something with the Night King doing tactics. But like I said, he's never really in the front.
Yeah, Timo, that was a good catch with that. He says that the Night King has been going after all the three-eyed ravens, and now he's coming after him. So that kind of leads us to believe that there have been more than one three-eyed raven over the years, because I never thought about that, because for me the only three-eyed raven that I ever thought about was Brendan Rivers. But and I always had the question, how did he get in the tree, and how did he become the three-eyed raven? There's like a time gap that, at least from what I've read in the books, that doesn't talk to that. Like, how did he go from being Lord Commander to the three-eyed raven? Like, what was that journey? What was that path? And I'm hoping that we'll get the backstory to that. But I thought that was kind of interesting that they brought that fact up. Yeah, good catch, Kimo. I totally forgot about that, and I even had it in my notes, and I didn't even look at it.
Yeah, I've always wanted to know who else was on the Green Seer throne before Bloodraven. I think I don't know how exactly it was done, but I feel like he was lured there somehow, because there's one point where Bran is like in his feelings, and Bloodraven is like, "Do you think I actually wanted to be stuck here in a tree?" That's why he always kept warning Bran not to get lost in the visions. I think that's what happened to him. They lured him in there. He thought he was just going to get to learn some more cooler magic shit. And by the time he came out and noticed what was happening, the trees were wrapped around him and he couldn't move. So I don't know. Hopefully we get an explanation at some point, but they might skip over it.
B, do you have any honorary mentions you want to bring up?
I do not, unless you guys would like to hear more about my theory on Podrick and singing his way into Punani.
I do
And
not, unless you guys would like to
Gendry
hear more about
and
my theory
his
on
magic stick,
Podrick and
or
his
the
way
I guess I would call it a
Punani.
staff.
I do not,
The
unless
staff that
you guys would
Arya
like to hear more
apparently
about
learned how to
Monero,
wield.
Wait, one of y'all gotta either mute your YouTube thing or
Oh,
mute
okay, sorry.
Tomorrow. Could y'all even hear what I said? Should I say it again?
No, yeah, start over.
All right. Basically, I mean, unless you guys want to hear about, some good old Gendry D and that staff that he gave to Arya on Sunday, or you want to hear about Podrick and his songbird Punani skills, I don't really have any other.
All right. Before you do get into those, my one honorary mention is I think we might have touched on it a little bit, but Davos and the little girl that was just so reminiscent of Shireen.
You are so right.
That they almost got me there too.
No, they got me.
Almost got me with that. And the care coming from Davos when he was talking to her, and then Gilly, that is also an honorable mention for me. Gilly is up there with the Northern Lady hairstyle, looking fresh, like a lady at a house, directing shit, and I loved all of that. And that little conversation with her, Davos, and the little girl, who is reminiscent again of Lyanna and Arya wanting to get out there and fight for her home, was just freaking perfect, and it almost brought me to tears.
I agree. She did remind me of Shireen when she stepped up and was trying to get a bowl, and the look on Davos' face. You're right. Yeah.
All right, B, go ahead. Give us your theories.
I don't know. That was me literally saying I don't have an honorable mention unless you guys, want to hear about those two.
I mean, I want to hear about them. Chat room, y'all want Professor Diligence to come in here and shock our brains? Grab your parchment and quills, children. We are about to go to school. Go ahead, B, take it.
No, I already told y'all. I feel so moved now that I just want to make a video about it. I'm gonna go back through that Blackwater episode and a couple other episodes too, and just take clips of Bronn trying to eat a box to prove to y'all, no, these dudes is out here eating the boxes. That's not it. Podrick Payne did this. They tied up an end for us. Well, motherfucker, he's a singer. And
If they gave it away just because he was singing to them, that's stupid.
no, not giving it away. It was because it's fine. Like everything else, right? If you're a sex worker, everything else that's happening to you is sex, right? There's no connection. There's like no soul connection, no like connection. Somebody's sitting here singing to you and serenading you or whatever, and then putting down the D. Listen, if you haven't had that experience, go find you a dude that can sing. I'm just telling you, it's a wonderful thing. And yeah.
I don't know if it's wonderful enough that I'm going to give up my coins that you gave.
Well, if you got the D, you got the stroke game right. You eating the box, you doing everything else all these other dudes do, and you got the nerve to sing to us while you doing it.
Look at fucking Rhaegar.
I'll say thank you, but I'm gonna keep my coins. Like,
I mean, but you're also not a whore, T. Like,
I know that if I was one, I wouldn't. That's not. They're not good whores. Maybe because Littlefinger's not there anymore. Was he still there?
Yeah, he was there.
So yeah, I know Littlefinger was pissed. Like, what are y'all hoes doing?
Like, what? It's like, nah, but he straight came in here though, and like a little Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay, all the panties off of everybody, and I'm telling y'all, that's what I think it is.
I can hold a note or two, but I don't know if it's worth him getting the coins back. Like unless he was singing while doing something else, then that's a trick, and maybe. But even still, I would be like, nah, I'm gonna keep my coins. I'll keep my golden dragons.
I'm telling you, you heard it. You had Narrow. You still here? Tell her. You said it yourself. Like, listen, panties be dropping. They even got songs. Trey Songz literally got a song called Panty Dropper.
Right, it's your profession. Like, your profession is to make money having sex. So once comes along singing a nice tune, and then because like the Lannister men, they sung a nice tune at the whorehouse, and then
but it wasn't one dude singing though. Like, I'll be sure. Okay, bet I got you one better. Y'all ever been to like a McDonald's or something like that with like your cousins or T? You got a twin, right? Yeah. And it's a dude in the car, and it's like some almost cute, not even really cute girl in the window, and they just flirt with her, and somehow y'all get free fries. I mean, it's her job to sell fries and burgers. You shouldn't be giving out fries and burgers.
Right. Difference from giving out free burgers because you work at Burger King than giving out free box because you're a poor. Like, that's your livelihood. And then you're like poor, so you need all your coins, and now you're giving it away because someone sung you.
I'm just saying, though, where is the lie, though, T? Where's the lie?
T?
Look at the chat room. Everybody got it right. Smokey Robinson, Luther Vandross, Elder Bart.
Ask the chat.
Teddy Pendergrass.
Ask the chat, if you're a whore in King's Landing and it's war, are you going to give up your coin because he sung you a song? I'm just saying, if you're a whore.
But it wasn't war. I'm saying you get fired.
Like, that's when they were still dealing with
No, it was after.
But it's still loose ends though, wasn't it?
No, that was after. It was after Blackwater. So, I mean, technically the War of the Five Kings is over. Right? Because no. That next season is when Rob dies. So it's not over, technically.
Right. So yeah, I'm sorry. Like, maybe because I'm thinking if I'm a whore, I wouldn't do it. But maybe I'm a different kind of whore, and I wouldn't do what that whore did.
But that's the thing. You're not a whore, though. So I don't think you're really able to put yourself in the mindset. That's why I had to do the burger analogy.
You need your money.
Right, but don't you need your job, though? You working at McDonald's, you getting like $7 an hour. Don't you need that job? And you out here giving out free burgers and fries.
Okay, I'm just maybe I don't get whores.
I mean, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're not gonna be good at this because we're not whores. But I'm saying, like, you come in here singing like freaking, I don't know, pick somebody. You come in here singing like freaking Chris Brown. You know what I'm saying? And I'm having a rough night.
The reason why they are whores is because they don't make good decisions.
It's just they don't make good decisions, or they just enjoyed it. That's all I'm saying. Like, instead of it just being a transaction where you got to get this dude off, you got somebody that's concentrating on trying to serenade you and get you off. This conversation is really going down a rabbit hole.
I was going to say, yeah, we need to cut it right here.
That's just me and B going off the
Yeah, I realized after the words came out, like,
we forgot we were on air.
Yeah,
and Timo's got to roll out anyway, so we might as well go ahead and just do sign off. We hit all our points, I think.
Yeah, I'm so over this Jamie episode. Now to the real stuff where everyone dies. And none of this BS of, oh, our favorites are going to survive somehow. We're going to make it. No, y'all been threatening us since season 1. I want to see people die.
Timo, go ahead and sign off.
Please break us, HBO.
Stop being so murderous. See, we're going to lose everyone. Do you realize there's a possibility that we're losing Tormund next week?
Oh, we're definitely losing him. They're giving us way too much time with him.
I know. Like, can we at least bond on that? Like, we're losing him. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Like, we need to pour one out for Tormund next week.
Oh yeah, we're pouring it out for everyone because I think half the staff is gone.
Yeah, but everybody but Jamie.
No, this is his goodbye episode. He's gone.
No, it was Brienne's goodbye episode, not Jamie.
She's anyway,
thank you for having me, guys. I'll be here. It's next week, right? Same time next week?
Yeah. Because I'll be hosting it, so if everyone's cool with 7:30, then we'll be doing it.
Don't we have one on Wednesday? Hold on, Timo. Wait, don't we have one on Wednesday?
Oh, you mean like predictions?
Oh, yeah, predictions.
She was talking about I think she was talking about the next episode review, right, Timo?
Oh, okay. I thought you talk about stream.
Oh, okay, I could be there Wednesday. On the next week episode, I have to work, so I might be a little late. Because I'm back to work, making that money. Anyway, shut up. Anyway, thank you for having me. I'll see you guys Wednesday, and then next week.
Yeah.
We'll have issues ready. I'll be there this time, AK, for your live reaction.
Awesome.
So I might actually see if I can set up my computer to like maybe join in, because I'm like very reactive when it comes to watching Game of Thrones. So I'll see if I can set it up somehow. Other than that, wonderful seeing all you beautiful people. Thanks everybody in the chat. Have a good night, everyone. Love you all.
All right, see you, Timo. And yeah, thanks again, everyone in the chat, for coming to hang with us and listen to us go down these random rabbit holes that we always find ourselves in. We will be back Wednesday, I believe, on B's channel for predictions for the next episode. And then the following Sunday, we'll be back. Not Sunday, Monday, we'll be back for discussing what happened. I'll be doing live reaction, hopefully joined by couple of my peoples for the battle. And besides that, just set your notifications, check everyone's streams, because we definitely in here for this season.
T, you want to sign off?
I'm just glad that this Jamie farewell tour is over with, and I'm really excited for the next episode. And like the lady said, we'll be back Wednesday.
B.
Yep, staying muted. Basically, thanks for coming out to hang out with us, guys. Hope to see you on Wednesday. And of course, I don't know if any of the girls are doing the pregame on Sunday, but if so, see y'all in the chats there too. And even if not, we'll probably still be in the chats. It's great to be back for season 8, and yeah, that's it. Thanks again for coming out.
AK?
She already went.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but little tidbit though. After this, y'all jump into drinks and notes things. They have already started streaming, so let's go. Let's all head over there, catch up. Tell them the Lord Commander sent you, and I'll see y'all over there.
Okay. Again, I'm gonna echo everybody. Thanks again, everybody, for coming to hang out with us today, and enjoying and joining in our conversation as we discussed this last episode. Again, please be sure to tune in on Wednesday on B's channel for the prediction. And then you can catch us again next week, Monday, on T Baby's channel as we review episode 3. And we may also have a special guest with us that day. So be sure to make sure you subscribe to all of our channels. They're in the description box. Please make sure you drop a like in this on this video. That would be great. And is there anything else I want to say? Keep the Sansa and Jamie hate alive.
James gonna die. Man and Boo Boo, he's gonna die.
Peace, y'all.